arthritis, and you might lose water pressure.
Call to order. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies, at which time any business affecting their interests is discussed and acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this Act and Board of Education Policy 0162, the Board of Education of the Borough of Bound Brook has caused notice of this meeting to be posted in the board office and at Bound Brook High School and mailed or faxed to the Courier News, Bound Brook Borough Clerk, South Bound Brook Board of Education, and any person who has requested individual notice and paid the required fee. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Okay. Roger Zipko cannot be here. He's at a doctor's appointment, and Camilla Stevens had a work commitment. So, Ms. Morris. Here. Present. Lizeth Martinez. Here. Present. Tricia Rossamano.
Here.
Present. Jay Tomaselli.
Here.
Present. Michelle DeFazio.
Here.
Present. Michael Bale.
Here.
Present. Joanna Husan.
Here.
Present. Dominic Vadalaire.
Here.
Present.
Okay. I just wanted to congratulate the boys basketball team for a great season and Coach Melisergo for being awarded the Coach of the Year. That's wonderful. I did see something said on the agenda, and that is that our friend Sue Del Conte has decided to retire, so good for her. So we will miss her. I hope that someone can fill the big shoes that she has left, because I know she was she attended most of our meetings, and we enjoyed her questions. We didn't always agree with her, right? So I can't say we always agreed, but I was glad to have. I was
Always
glad
aware
to
of the
have
blood
her.
drive.
Yeah, I hope someone fills in for the blood drive for her, because she really was a proponent for pushing that. So congratulations to her in her retirement. She certainly will be missed. At this point, I will turn it over to Dr. Gallagher for Students of the Month.
Well, first off, I have a couple announcements. That's because my mic went dead. Can I borrow that? Okay. First off, just a couple quick announcements. As of today, we have 108 staff members that are either fully vaccinated or in the process of being vaccinated, so that's over half of the staff. Over the weekend, I did receive an email from NJASA along with the governor's office that was providing us the opportunity for our staff to get vaccinated this upcoming Saturday through the governor's office. So we sent that out today, and we had 26 staff members take advantage of the governor's office's opportunity to get vaccinated this Saturday. So that list was sent to the governor's office this afternoon. So that will bring us up to a total of 134 staff members who will, by the end of this week, be in process of vaccinations. I'd like to congratulate Coach Melisergo for being named Coach of the Year by the Courier News. It's a well-deserved award for him. I like to mention that he was my first hire here when I first came to Valbro. So it's good to see somebody grow over the years, as Coach Melisergo has. CDC has revised the social distancing in schools from 6 feet to 3 feet. At this time, we are not making any changes until we receive some more guidance and some more clarity to exactly what 3 feet means. So there'll be no changes at this time. With that, we will start with Students of the Month for Lamont Annex. And since Dr. S could not be here, she is sick because she got the second shot and was not feeling well, so I'm filling in for her. We have Margaret Thumas Mejia for pre-K and for kindergarten. I'm going to really butcher this one, I apologize. Thiago Torres Ramirez for kindergarten. Then we have for Lafayette School, we have Mrs. Clark.
For first grade, we have James Rojas de los Santos. And for second grade, we have Ethan Hernandez Martinez.
And for Smalley School, we have Mr. Edwards.
Good evening, everyone. Our third grade recipient is Freddie Alberto Reyes Sandoval, third grade. Our fourth grade recipient is Angel Lopez Antonio. Our fifth grade student is Joseph Anthony Avila Cordero. And our sixth grade student is Jameer Graham.
And for community middle school, we have Mr. Sam Sermon.
Good evening, everyone. The Community Middle School is proud to recognize as its Students of the Month, Anthony Garcia Navarro, and Emmanuel Munoz Cordero.
And for Boundbrook High School, we have Mr. Smith.
Good evening. Downbrook High School Crusader Citizens of the Month, our freshman recipient, Carlos Cedeno. Our sophomore recipient, Eric Silverman. Our junior recipient, Ryan Alvarado. And lastly, our senior recipient, Jocelyn Avila Cordero. Thank you.
We have our GEM award presentations, and we will start with Lafayette School with Mrs. Clark.
Lafayette's gem for the month of March is Mrs. Petrick. If I had to use one word to describe Mrs. Petrick, it would be calm. Through the many challenges and changes this year, she has remained committed to being a steady constant in her students' lives. Mrs. Petrick has remained positive and supportive with students who require extra support and understanding on a daily basis, all while maintaining a classroom environment that is flexible and welcoming. So thank you, Mrs. Petrick, for all that you do, and congratulations.
For Smalley School, Mr. Edwards.
Okay, good evening again. Ms. Carrera has been helping Smalley School throughout the year. During the morning rush, Ms. Carrera helps translate to our Spanish-speaking families on making sure parents understand to get their COVID form filled out for their child. This maintains a level of calmness in the office, knowing we have Ms. Carrera to contact our Spanish-speaking families. Ms. Carrera has collaborated and assisted with the child study team and the guidance counselors during our wellness surveys. Ms. Carrera supports students and parents by providing any helpful resources for counseling if need be. She conducts risk assessments and follows the correct protocols to keep the child safe, but also follows legal guidelines. We're very lucky to have another staff member to support our students' social and emotional needs daily. Our gem of the month goes to our school social worker, Ms. Talia Ferreira. Congratulations.
Community Middle School, we have Mr. Sam Sermon.
Hello, once again. I'm proud to recognize Mrs. Jennifer Peterson as the CMS GEM Award recipient for the month of March. It can be said that Mrs. Peterson has literally gone the extra mile for her students. About 5 years ago, Mrs. Peterson came to me with an idea to start a running club at the middle school. Fast forward several years, and the running club at CMS is one of the most well-attended after-school activities. Before COVID hit, it was not uncommon for dozens of students and several teachers as well to meet up at the track. Many of those students have gone on to participate in high school track and field. The governor recently announced that middle school sports are resuming, so we are thrilled once again to offer running club at CMS. Mrs. Peterson has already held one interest meeting and has a second one scheduled for this Wednesday. In addition to running club, Mrs. Peterson is the co-coordinator for the 7th grade class trip, which we hope will resume next year as our schools continue to inch back to normal. Whenever there's a fundraiser or social activity, Mrs. Peterson is always there to lend a hand. In the classroom, Mrs. Peterson's dedication and caring for her students is unmatched. She regularly makes appointments with me to sit down and discuss difficult cases and challenges that accompany teaching and learning. Mrs. Peterson never settles for mediocrity and works each day to instill this sense of determination and pride in her students. Ms. Peterson follows her students' progress through high school and beyond. And there's nothing more gratifying than when she has exciting news to report about one of her former students. We are all lucky to have Mrs. Peterson as a teacher in the Bound Brook School District, and I am honored to present Jennifer Peterson with the CMS GEM Award for March. Ms. Peterson is unable to join us tonight, and she'll receive her award tomorrow, but she is logged in, of course, virtually today. Thank you, Ms. Peterson.
And we have Mr. Smith for the high school.
Hey, hello again. It is with great pleasure to name Mrs. Maureen Ryan as the high school's recipient of the GEM Award. Mrs. Ryan has always done her best to support her colleagues in Bound Brook High School in all capacities, as a teacher, advisor, colleague, role model, and friend. She has shown that she is committed to the little things, such as helping teachers on her floor and in the neighboring classrooms by enriching the educational experience for students and teachers alike. She is a committed co-advisor for the class of 2022, where she truly goes above and beyond to help our Bound Brook High School students. In the high school's most recent donut sale, Mrs. Ryan took it upon herself to deliver almost 25 orders to families and friends in Bound Brook. She is a leader not only in the school or department, but in the community, and is one of the rare teachers that has been able to teach multiple generations of the same family. Mrs. Ryan has spent 21 of her 23 years in the Bound Brook Public Schools educating her students on the 4 disciplines of history, geography, civics, and economics for the 21st century learner. She challenges her students to acquire a basic understanding and appreciation of world and American history in an effort to prepare them for college and career readiness and to be productive members of society. For these reasons, among others, Mrs. Ryan is well deserving of being named the Going the Extra Mile recipient for the high school. Please congratulate Mrs. Ryan for her tremendous work and dedication to the Bound Brook High School community. Thank you, Ms. Ryan.
All right, one of our students came in, so our 5th grade student, Joseph, student of the month, come on down.
We need a translator. We do have a translator here. I know you went around and gave out the translator before, just in case. Okay.
Dr. Galley?
You have more?
Yeah. For the community middle school, Anthony Garcia Navarro.
Dr. Gallagher, first grade, James.
First grade,
James Rojas de los Santos.
For our first grade student of the month at Lafayette, we have James Rojas de los Santos.
the GEM award for Lamont Ag is Clara Clevenger. However, also for the district, we have our entire nursing staff. So we have Mrs. Bennett, Mrs. Clevenger, Mrs. Hanson, Mrs. Numerowski, and Mrs. Sherman. Our nursing staff has gone well above and beyond during this time of COVID. I couldn't recognize just one of them. I had to do them as a group. They have, 24/7 been on call basically, along with Mrs. Snell, who doing all the contact tracing. Every time we get a phone call, whether it's or an email, whether it's 7 o'clock at night or on a weekend, we have to start that contact tracing. And everybody has got well above and beyond for the district to make sure that everyone stays safe and that we follow all necessary protocols to make sure that when we open up in the morning, that everybody is checked, everybody's temperature is checked, every cohort form is checked, and that we are opening with confidence that our schools are safe and we abide by all of the protocols that we have in place. So I'd like to congratulate all of our school nurses as the GEM Award recipients for the district, because they've done an outstanding job and they really should be thanked for the outstanding work that they have done. At this time, we have the DOE Exemplary Education presentation by Mrs. Clark.
So just some background information on exactly what the Exemplary Educator Recognition Program is, and the purpose is to identify educators who are valued by their school and community and have exhibited strong knowledge and skills, an inspiring presence, and a clear vision for teaching and learning. This nominee was nominated last year, but because of COVID and some changes at the DOE, we finally found out this year that she was one of only 93 in the entire state selected. So Mrs. Quinn is the definition of an exemplary educator. As an administrator, one of the best parts of my day is walking around the building to witness the learning that is going on in classrooms. There are times when I notice creativity in planning and instruction, and there are times when I see things that make me think to myself, I wish I saw this while I was teaching. Mrs. Quinn has allowed me to have those moments often when I would walk by her room or stop in to say hello. By facilitating lessons that bring literature to life through a student-centered puppet theater, which is still one of my favorite memories, assigning roles to students in guided reading groups that allow students to have leadership roles when discussing and analyzing text, or analyzing student performance data to hone in on specific standards that need to be addressed, either individually or in groups, it is clear Mrs. Quinn takes her craft seriously and is constantly looking for the most innovative and exciting ways to teach her lessons. Time and again, Mrs. Quinn has proven herself to be a dedicated educator that closely examines every lesson as an opportunity to create an enriching experience that not only leads to teachable moments, but that sparks creativity and imagination. Her tenacity is palpable to her students, allowing them to gain confidence and push themselves out of their comfort zones. In a constant search for best practices, Mrs. Quinn never stops thinking of how to be innovative or reach for that one student that seems to be disconnected. It is easy to find the missteps and focus on them, but when Mrs. Quinn finds them, she thinks of solutions and starts conversations to brainstorm ways to improve upon them. During distance learning, while others were finding it difficult to manage the new day-to-day routines, and rightfully so, Mrs. Quinn not only led her grade level, but reached out to other grades to show them the new techniques she discovered. She typed up detailed directions, she hosted multiple Google Meets, and led demonstrations. She continually offered to do it all, over and over and over. Congratulations, Mrs. Quinn, and thank you for your dedication to our students and the craft of educating young minds. Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to ask the board members to take a seat in the audience, and we're going to just take a two-minute break here while I transition out to there to do a presentation. If anybody would like to leave or take a little more time, you're more than welcome to do so at this point in time. You want to stay, you can go out there.
Yeah, I got J&J. One shot, all done.
One and done?
Yeah, just got lucky. That's all. Believe me, it's our second one the day before Easter. Running Easter. Weird. See, she's still, I think that's what it is. The day before something, I remember she said, yeah. No, that's a line I just sit. Don't sit till I thought I'll take the day off. That's what I'm thinking. But then, now you take a day off. It's screwing everybody. What? So, even though you know, if you've got dates, thank you for letting me do it. And then it's if you're going to do keep it in the coverage. We'll try for it. Let's be honest.
We actually have people come.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start off my presentation like I do almost every year.
Mr. Smith, could you lower the lights? The lights.
I think everybody can see. I think we're okay. We're good.
Most of the people remotely.
They can't see.
Nah, it's not great. Not too bright.
The behind the stage. As I do. No, they're good. They can see it online. Okay, starting over. As I do every year, when I do the budget presentation, I always start out with how the state determines your local budget. So the first one is how they develop their adequacy budget, and they determine what your adequacy budget is overall, how much you should be spending as of your entire budget. Then they figure out what your local fair share should be, and they determine how much your local fair should be by a very complicated formula that takes into account property values as well as income, okay? So when we get down to that, they minus your local fair share off of what they think you should be spending as your adequacy budget, and that $24,320,000, 470 number is the equalization aid that the state is supposed to give to Boundbrook, okay? So this year, if you look on the left-hand side, that subtotal, $20,366,017 is the equalization aid we got this year. Okay? So the difference right now, and I go through this every year, is right now we're going to be taxing and keeping our tax rate flat. Okay? We're not raising taxes. So our tax rate is $13,037,373, and we are overtaxing the local taxpayers by $223,518, which represents about 1% or less than 1% of the tax rate. Okay. Meanwhile, we're supposed to get $24,320,470 in state aid. We got $20,366,017, and we are still $3,954,054 $3,954,453,000 underfunded. All of this, you can double check me. You can go to NJ School Boards Association website. You can check all these facts out for yourself. Here is the history of taxes since 2006. Over the last 15 years, the average tax increase to a home in Bound Brook is 0.62. And as you can see this year, it's 0. Our current budget. Again, from our strategic plan, these are our 5 key areas from the strategic plan. Again, we're going to improve our academic and instructional programs, maintain our student-teacher ratios, continue our extracurricular transformation and updates, try to reduce local taxes. We did a 0 tax increase, increase health and safety measures because of the pandemic, continue social emotional programs, continue to expand our wellness, mental health wellness program, continue in-district counseling model with clinical counselors, expand our CTE and work study program, and adopt a new science curriculum, K-8. We're going to continue to increase instructional capacity, continue the district as a high-performing district, continue to implement procedures and policies to support instruction, continue early reading intervention programs, increase ASI support, expanding our summer school program for the learning loss due to the pandemic. Maintain our extended school day program for grades 1 through 8, summer school reading program K-1, and expand, that should be pre-K and K, I apologize, and expand our self-contained program to the middle school. Our additional staff that's in the budget is a work study site coordinator, somebody to go out and check the work site workplaces for our kids to make sure they're compliant, OSHA compliant, make sure that all of their policies, procedures are up to date before we send the kid out to a workplace to ensure that we're sending our kids to a safe workplace. That's critical. A new special ed teacher, new instructional aid, that will be for the expansion into the middle school, and then a new STEM teacher for the middle school, which is part of the additional Amazon grant we got for the middle school. So we have the Amazon grant in high school, now we have one for the middle school. There are no staff reductions. Our cost increases are pretty much straightforward. Healthcare, contractual, workman's compensation, special ed costs, new staff. We did put in for a new section of roof at Smalley over the art room, a new intercom system here at the high school, repointing the chimney at community school, and an automation project at Smalley School temperature controls. That's for the older section of the building. We didn't have a chance to do those controls. So last year's or the current year's budget is $32,798,000. Next year's budget is $36,509,000. It's a difference of $3.7 million. Our Fund 12 is $1.9 million. So Fund 12 is basically our revenue account stuff that's self-generating. And then our overall budget last year was $37 million. That takes into account your Title I, Title II, Title III, ground lease, things like that. This year it'll be $41 million for a difference of $3.6 million in total. This year's ground lease payment for the upcoming year is a little over $1.2 million. We have after this upcoming year, we'll have 3 years left on that lease, and that lease will end in the 23-24 school year. So you have 3 years left on that lease, and then that addition on Smalley is paid for. District projects on the horizon. Obviously, we're in the design phase for the Lafayette cafeteria. Then you have the Lafayette classroom addition. You're going to have to replace the high school turf field at some point in time, relatively soon. You got to replace the field lights, restoration of the high school bathrooms, high school boilers, and we still have some LED lights that we have to upgrade in some classrooms. Our per pupil costs have not really changed. We're still ranking pretty highly out of the 71 similar districts like us throughout the state. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty pretty much a straightforward, very vanilla budget. I'll take any questions. No, we did not.
Okay.
No. And we've not gotten a response to that either. None of the districts that reported the undercount has gotten an answer from Department of Ed.
Not even a we'll get back to
Yeah, not even a we'll get back to you. We didn't even get a circle back. Any other questions? So like I said, it's pretty straightforward budget, maintains what we have. You saw the additions to the budget. It pretty much keeps us going with the programs that we have. There are a couple minor maintenance projects in there. I think, to be honest with you, the biggest one probably in there cost-wise is probably going to be the intercom system, believe it or not, for the high school. And I can honestly tell you that having been in the high school for a long time, and I'm sure Ed would agree with this, we have some rooms that actually hear announcements. We have others that don't. So it is needed at the high school. It probably falls under that safety security piece. Probably needs to be done. The chimney piece over at community school, as I told you before, as we've been repointing here at the high school, it's something that you guys really have to budget for yearly. It's repointing. Your buildings are quite old, and you're really going to have to put money out to repoint yearly. You just got to find the worst parts of the district that need to be repointed and do them as fast as you can, and continue to just keep moving along to maintain the buildings that you have, because I don't see you going out and building a new building. Although I will tell you that there is a lot of talk about the School Development Authority coming out with some new ROD grants. But again, I just don't know the financial situation that Bound Brook will be in to go after a ROD grant for a building. I just don't know if you guys would have the public support for taking on that kind of debt for a building. I just don't know. So.
But wouldn't it be so much more cost efficient if there was a bigger building where you consolidate the smaller building?
Well, again, the original thought process here in Bound Brook, again, you weren't here on the board. I know Michelle was, Mike was, I know Camilla was. Jay, you were probably here at the time. The additions that we put on, like the addition we put on at Smalley, the additions we're talking about putting on at Lafayette, the purpose of those additions were really to, at some point in time, close Lamont and Lamont Annex. So we were putting on additions to actually reduce the footprint of the district from 6 buildings to 4. Unfortunately, the problem that you have is the growth in the community is really forcing you to keep all the buildings open and need the additions. So that's the real concern is the growth within the district itself. Again, when we did the studies 7 or 8 years ago from Whitehall, our top out number was like 1,900 kids for the district. We surpassed that 2 years before we were supposed to even get to that. And then when we did the new study, the new top out number was like 2,100, and we hit 2,000 a year ago. Now, obviously the pandemic, our numbers are down a little bit like everybody else's. But again, that's because if you look at kindergarten, pre-K, parents kept their kids home. Now, when we come back in September, will all those kids show up? I would assume that yes, they will. I don't think that they're going to stay home. But again, I could be wrong. I can't give you that answer. But at some point in time, they're going to show up. I still think the other problem that you're going to have is, which we experienced the last time, was the unaccompanied minors. That is going to be a problem.
And then another problem, and not this year, maybe the next 2 to 3 years, is all those buildings being built up. How many kids are going to come to those buildings?
Again, I can't give you, I
I know you can't.
can't give you a projection on that. It's very hard because some of them are 1 bedroom, some of them are 2 bedroom. I just can't accurately forecast that for you.
Well, because they forecast Meridian, how off are they with that?
The Meridian one, they weren't off that badly. It might have only been a handful of kids. It was Queensgate that they were off quite a bit. Because Queensgate ended up being 2-bedroom apartments. That was off quite a bit. I think the other thing that we've noticed in Bound Brook is, and again, I would talk to real estate agents, but houses in Bound Brook right now don't stay on the market more than probably 2 weeks. Real estate in Bound Brook goes pretty quickly. And right now you have a lot of young families moving in. So young families equals kids.
There's a way to just present it so that the people would be okay with the building extension, because you're gonna need it. It happened in South Humber, and we're already out of room, and it's only been, for us, that was 20 years, but, you know, you guys are gonna be out of room in 5 years at this rate, even less, you know. And South Humber's numbers are low, so we're not getting as many cases as we normally do.
Again, you could do your demographic studies, you could do your long-term studies, you could do any which way you want to do it. If you look at it from the long term would be build a building, a big building.
Like a South, like how big South Humber building.
You would.
Not kind of
If I was advising you, I would say build a building that holds 1,000 elementary kids, and close as many small buildings as you can, and reduce the size and footprint of your district. Again, that long-term thinking, though, there's a cost to it that I don't know if the people of Bound Brook are willing to take in the short term for a long-term gain. I think the other thing that you have to remember, and I think there is a part of this, I would say, use some patience, is your buildings are quite old. So you have 3 buildings that are 100 years old or better. High school's over 100, Lamont's over 100, community school's over 100. Your other buildings are 60 or 70 years old by themselves as is. So I know that the Department of Education did ask us how old our buildings were when they started talking about these new ROD grants and SDA funding opportunities. So there may be a focus coming to target buildings that are over 100 years old. In that case, you may be in a good position to your patience is always good, because you may be in a position, your buildings are in great shape right now. You can handle your influx. So be patient, see what the state is going to do. 3 or 4 years from now, if the state's not doing anything, then at that point in time, then you could say, okay, let's go out to the taxpayers and say, okay, for a long-term commitment, this may be in the best interest to reduce your taxes long-term. It's not going to happen in the short term. Yes?
Where are you putting that building, a building that size?
I would take Lamont. I would get rid of Lamont and I'd go up 4 or 5 stories. That's what I would do. At eminent domain, that little piece of Greenbrook Academy, and I would just take out Lamont and go straight up. Everything. Go right up. And then what I would do is once that building's done, then I would take out the annex and make that one big gigantic parking lot. But again, that's just a long term if that's the way you wanted to play it. But I can't tell you how to do it. Any other questions? Okay.
We have no, We had a meeting too early. I haven't been around, so I thought we didn't have the committee meetings.
No, we had no committee meetings. We have no committee meetings to report at this time. However, we do have to go into an executive session up front here at this time. So we are going into executive session under number 3, 4, 7, and 8. Can I get a motion to go into executive session?
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Tomaselli, second by Mr. Badalaire. All in favor?
Aye.
We will be back in a little bit, folks. You get the second. Keep going. Ed, Joe?
Find it by the light. Well, that'll be on camera forever.
Like for agenda items only. Okay, I have only one online. And it's from Mrs. O'Reilly, 745 Schoolhouse Lane, Finance Resolution. Wondering what recommendations the superintendent made providing a better virtual environment and where can the public view those recommendations, and wondering how the staff received their Google Classroom and digital citizenship training. Well, we did that through Kite Learning for the training for the teachers, and I have no problem posting my recommendations if approved tonight on the website.
Okay.
That's all there is online for agenda items.
We ready?
Okay.
Okay, at this time, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from 3/8/2021, both regular and executive meetings?
Motion.
Mr. Battleer, second.
Second.
Mr. Tomaselli, I need to abstain because I was not here.
Ms. Fazio has to abstain because she was not here for the minutes.
Anyone else? Roll call?
Roll call vote. Look at it, roll calls. Roll calls. Give me 1 second. Figure this out.
You can just read them all and just go on the tape.
Forget it.
You need it alphabetical.
I don't want to screw anybody else. Mr. Bell.
Yes.
Ms. Martinez.
Yes.
Ms. Morris.
Yes.
Ms. Musan.
Yes.
Ms. Rosamano.
Yes.
Mr. Tomaselli.
Yes.
Mr. Battleair.
Yes.
Mr. Fazio.
Abstain.
Okay.
Okay, at this time, we are going to personnel resolutions. Resolve that the superintendent recommends for approval the resolutions as outlined in personnel resolutions under district and high school 6.2 to 6.12. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Val, second.
Second.
Mr. Tomaselli, any questions or comments?
Motion was Mr. Bell, seconded by Mr. Tomaselli.
So you can see that special ed position is filled.
Finally, right?
That's a big deal
Yeah.
for those
right.
that don't know.
I just need to abstain from 6.5 and 6.6.
Mr. Battleair is abstaining from 6.5 and 6.6.
I just need to say for personal that 6.3 makes me sad because I could always count on Ms. Del Conte to be in the audience for every day that I was here. And I'm sure she's watching, so I don't agree with that. Just so you know.
You're gonna vote no on 6.3?
Yeah, I-
Sorry, you're not allowed to retire, Mr. O'Connor. No, good for you, good for you.
Absolutely.
Well, she'll have more time now, and then maybe she can
You
attend
can
the
attend as a
meetings.
citizen?
Yeah, maybe she can still run blood drives.
That's true. Hearing no other comments, may I have a roll call?
Mr. Bell.
Yes.
Ms. Martinez.
Yes.
Ms. Morris.
Yes.
Ms. Musan.
Yes.
Ms. Rosamano.
Yes.
Mr. Tomaselli.
Yes.
Mr. Battleair.
Yes.
Mr. Fazio.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, we are up to, hold on, I just hit the mouse. 7, approval, the resolve, the superintendent recommends for approval the resolutions as outlined in personnel resolutions under middle and elementary schools, 7.2 through 7.5. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Tomaselli, second. Ms. Rusmano, any questions or comments?
Mr. Tomaselli made the motion. Ms. Rosamano seconded.
Hearing no questions or comments, may I have a roll call?
Mr. Bell.
Yes.
Ms. Martinez. Ms. Morris. Ms. Musan.
Yes.
Ms. Rosamano.
Yes.
Mr. Tomaselli.
Yes.
Mr. Battleair.
Abstain.
Mr. Battleair abstains. Mr. Fazio.
Yes. 8, resolved the Bound Board of Education approves the resolutions as outlined in education resolutions under district and high school, number 8.2. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Tomaselli, can I get a second?
Second.
Ms. Musson, any comments or questions?
Motion by Mr. Tomaselli, seconded by Ms. Musan.
Hearing none, can I get a roll call?
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez? Ms. Morris? Ms. Musama?
Yes.
Ms. Rosamano?
Yes.
Mr. Tomaselli?
Yes.
Mr. Valalier?
Yes.
Mr. Fazio?
Yes. Policies, resolve the Boundbrook Board of Education approves the resolutions as outlined in policy resolutions under district and high school. 9.2, can I get a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Tomaselli, can I get a second?
Second.
Mr. Valalier, any questions or comments?
Motion by Mr. Tomaselli, second by Mr. Valalier.
Hearing none, can I get a roll call?
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez? Ms. Morris? Ms. Musama?
Yes.
Ms. Rosamano?
Yes.
Mr. Tomaselli?
Yes.
Mr. Valalier?
Yes.
Mr. Fazio?
Yes. 10, resolved, the Boundbrook Board of Education approves the resolutions as outlined in financial resolutions 10.2 through 10.15. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Tomaselli, can I get a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Motion by Mr. Tomaselli, seconded by Mr. Bell.
I
Thank,
have to abstain from 10.8, 10.12, 10.13, and then check 37675. 37675.
Say it one more time slowly.
37675.
Thank you. And then it was 10 point what?
8,
Mhm.
12, 13.
Mr. Valalier is abstaining from 10.8, 10.12, 10.13, and check number 37675.
I just would like to thank the Sean Wetter Holocaust Education Foundation for the grant to purchase classroom library books. That's great. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, may I have a roll call?
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez? Ms. Morris? Ms. Musama?
Yes.
Ms. Rosamano?
Yes.
Mr. Tomaselli?
Yes.
Mr. Valalier?
Yes.
Mr. Fazio?
Yes. At this time, is there anyone on the board that has any other matters that you would like brought before the board?
I had a question. It just hit me during your budget presentation. We've been getting money and talking about this summer on remediation and adding into that. How will the students be determined? Is it gonna be open to anybody who wants it, or will they be process for them?
Right now, we're looking at who's in the red,
Mhm.
who's in the yellow, and who's
Okay.
in the orange. So those are the three groups we're looking at and targeting those groups.
Of course.
Obviously, there's gonna be some other things that we're gonna do this summer for enrichment. We haven't kind of labeled all that out yet. Obviously, we're still kind of in,
Yeah, of course.
Planning.
Scramble,
Okay.
planning mode.
Is that, do you know whether or not the summer enrichment or remediation, is that going to be virtual or is that going to be an in-person? Is it gonna-
In-person.
It's in person only? Okay.
Everything's in person. And in fact, part of what we're doing is we also want to do one-on-one instruction.
Okay.
So I know that's why it's taken us quite a bit, is not only do we want to do group work, we also want to have one-on-one instruction as well. So we are, doing a lot of planning. I know Mrs. Fisher is doing quite a bit of work, and unfortunately, asking her mom, she's been out for the last few days, but she's doing quite a bit of work.
Okay. Nothing else? All right, at this time, it is open to the public for discussions on anything that needs to be discussed.
Do we have anything from online?
Yeah,
First,
so-
we're going to do the in-person, just, you know the drill. Name?
Hello, Lauren Paxton, President of Boundbrook Education Association. I was just wondering if there was a decision made on the sharing of the district COVID numbers. There was a discussion at the last board meeting.
I thought we were going to do a monthly.
And,
Yeah.
well, I don't think we firmly said, because I think we were gonna wait until you came back and decide to, that's where we landed was monthly, and I think we said we were gonna table it until everybody was here, which I think is really just you.
Well, it was kind of split.
Yeah, yeah, we weren't sure.
It was kind of split.
That's right, we did go back.
Well, what is your recommendation? Well, what do we do right now? As far as, we
send a
notify-
letter.
We send a, well, you send a letter letting you know that there's a COVID case and that anyone that had close contact has been contacted.
Mhm.
'Cause- and then, I mean,
It's
we
like a
do,
form letter from the,
right, I mean, that's,
yeah.
It's the form letter that,
yeah.
the health department basically gave us and said, use this letter.
And they're asking us to post numbers on the website.
Numbers
A
from
total,
within
a
the
running total.
district?
Well, we didn't, it doesn't have to be on the website. We were just looking for the totals, like the other districts provide.
But again, I don't see the necessity for a running total. I don't understand why they need a running total.
Yeah, what, I mean, what is the purpose behind just a general knowledge? I mean,
You can link right to the Somerset County website.
No, it doesn't give the Bound Brook numbers. We went to the New Jersey website like it was suggested. We couldn't find Bound Brook numbers.
do you want Bound Brook as a community or Bound Brook as a school?
As a school district, the reported COVID numbers and quarantine numbers for the school, just like other districts do.
What are you gonna do with those numbers?
We're gonna have them.
I mean,
Other districts provide it, and I know there was a hangup of larger districts last time. Manville and Middlesex provide it on their website. It's right there. Middlesex actually has a pretty good one. They do what the other larger districts do. So I don't know the rationale for saying it's a small school district that we can't do it when smaller school districts do it.
I personally don't. I mean, it's just a number, right?
Yeah,
I
that was
personally
my
don't have
take.
a
I
problem.
don't care either way.
I really don't care.
It doesn't bother
I think
me.
a monthly total like you give to us.
I mean, I don't care. I mean, I give them to you.
All right,
I don't
I think
care.
if you give, yeah, then I mean, it's just a number. So it just saves the person from like having to make their own personal checklist every time a letter goes out. You know, because if we're telling them about each and every case as it comes along.
Right, they know anyway.
Then they kind
there's
of
no
know in
secrets.
general, so I don't see any problem with putting out a number, just giving a monthly, at the end of the month, a total.
Yeah, I mean, do you want me to just give out the positive totals? Or do you want positive and quarantine totals? Because quarantine
Just
is
positive,
different. Yeah, I would just do positive, because
Yeah.
quarantine
could be misleading,
could be very misleading.
correct, I think that we should, at the number of positive cases.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions from anyone sitting here? Hearing none, do we have some online?
We do. The first one is from Patricia O'Reilly, 745 Schoolhouse Lane. The New Jersey Department of Health has said that pre-K through 12 teachers are eligible to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. Is the district helping teachers get the vaccine, or are teachers just told to go to the website and make their own appointment? Does the district know how many teachers have been vaccinated? I think I answered that up front.
Yeah, we covered all that.
Yeah, I will say Somerset County is trying to push teachers to get vaccinated. I don't know if anyone else.
No,
Yeah,
they did
something
do,
just happened.
they did do that. They're doing it on Friday from 12 to 5. They gave us a number which we already gave out to our staff. So anybody who wants to do that, they call a specific number, they'll get an appointment to do that. And that's in addition to the governor's office.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
right.
Is that on site? I'm sorry.
It's over at, it's right over at Patriot Stadium, the Health and Wellness Center, I guess, that's there.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, and there's one more from Mrs. O'Reilly, I believe. Unless she's in the same place. Does not say. I think I've lost my internet. I think I've lost my internet. Oh,
Impeccable
I've been-
timing.
I've been kicked out. How's that? That's
Sorry.
even better. I'm like getting kicked out.
Gotta love technology.
Kicked out.
And you guys are just waiting to jump in and help her.
Okay, second question was from Mrs. O'Reilly was, how likely will the district have full day in-person school with eating lunch in school next year? I would say that's probably 100% likely.
Oh, don't say 100, 99.
99%.
You never know.
That's true.
God willing.
Don't say that, they'll quote you on that.
Yeah, we'll quote you and then I'll move you to.
Okay,
99.9.
that was it online.
Okay, at this time, we are going to the approval of HIB cases. Resolve the Bamberg Board of Education, the approval of the resolutions is outlined in the approval of HIB cases under high school 15.2, 15.1 and 15.2. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Thomaselli, second.
Second.
Mr. Val, any questions?
Motion was made by Mr. Thomaselli, seconded by Mr. Bale.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Bale,
Yes.
Ms. Martinez,
Yes.
Ms. Morris. Ms. Musama.
Yes.
Ms. Rosamano,
Yes.
Mr. Thomaselli,
Yes.
Mr. Badalero,
Yes.
Mr. Fazio.
Yes. 16, resolve the Bamberg Board of Education, the approval of resolutions as outlined in approval of the HIB cases under middle and elementary schools, 16.1 and 16.2. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Thomaselli, second. Ms. Rusomano.
Motion by Mr. Thomaselli, seconded by Mr. Rosamano.
Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Bale,
Yes.
Ms. Martinez, Ms. Morris. Ms. Musama,
Yes.
Ms. Rosamano,
Yes.
Mr. Thomaselli,
Yes.
Mr. Fazio.
Yes. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Mr. Thomaselli, second.
Second.
Mr. Badalero, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Motion by Mr. Thomaselli, seconded by
Have a
Mr.
great night,
Badalero.
everybody.
All in favor?